look, we both know what this is about. You've had time to think about this, and when you're ready to talk about it, we can help you. At which point I gave a very big sigh and took a deep breath and just told her what I remembered.
Heads to Minds is a mental health and wellbeing charity, and we help all people with their mental health. We especially help children because I'm a very firm believer that if you reach out to the younger generation and early intervene, you could potentially stop a mental health condition manifesting further.
I had an issue with the fact that my kids were sort of 6 and 8, and I started to look at them and think, what would happen if I found out that abuse had happened to them? So I think I've kept it to myself. I had kept it to myself from the age of sort of 7 or 8 until I was in my early 40s. And I started to get, have nightmares. I started to get flashbacks. So stuff that I'd blocked out for years started to become important. And I sat in my car, in a car park, and I just thought, if anything goes wrong today, I'm not going to cope with it. I was aware that I just thought, anything, it doesn't matter what it is, I'm not going to cope with it. And sure enough, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, meeting I was supposed to have got cancelled. That was it, that's all it was. And I had a discussion with my boss. My boss was pretty much unaware of stuff that was going on around me, in my head. And we had an argument, and it just kind of got very angry. I think if you ever was to talk to him, he'd say I was quite aggressive. I probably was. And when I got home, I just sobbed my heart out. I eventually met this lady who was head of being a shrink in Cambridge, all right? And I gave the usual spiel about breakup of marriage and relationships and looking after my kids and this sort of thing. And she mentioned the elephant in the room and said, look, we both know what this is about. You've had time to think about this, and when you're ready to talk about it, we can help you. At which point I gave a very big sigh and took a deep breath and just told her what I remembered. And she burst into tears, which was a bit odd. So I gave her a cuddle. And she apologised, saying how unprofessional. I said, you've just shown your humanity, and that's why I can talk to you. That was what it was about. I didn't take well to speaking to professionals. I think a lot of people don't. But I think the fact that she was a little bit emotional did help me out a little bit. She was very good. Speak to someone. Hindsight's a beautiful thing. And once I'd spoken to a professional who had lots of humanity, it just started to get that a little bit easier. In primary school, I remember once a year you'd get a policeman would come and visit, and they show you a film about not talking to strangers. Now, in hindsight, if I could have done, I'd have put my hand up and said, don't worry about the stranger. What about the friend of your granddad? What about your uncle? What about your dad? You know, they're the ones that you really need to worry about. Now, clearly at 7 years old, I wasn't in a position to do that. But it didn't mean to say that I didn't think that. I'm never worried about strangers. Strangers aren't the issue. You know, it's your granddad's best mate that's the issue.
Early intervention is crucial. I cannot begin to tell you. I am blessed because my boss at the time managed to spot signs and symptoms, and he intervened before I actually took my own life. So because of that, I'm sitting here today, and early interventions, especially with that, you could save someone's life. Yeah, I mean, as a charity, as Heads to Mind, we offer training, all kinds of mental health and wellbeing training. We offer confidence, boosting, as well as mental health first aid in order to spot signs and symptoms, in order to help people recognise the signs to prevent someone taking their own life.